the middle path, that is Madhyam Marga. Then he speaks of the ultimate reality as given in the Four Noble Truths, which are first, dukkha or suffering; second, samudaya, the arising or origin of dukkha; third, nirodha, the cessation of dukkha; and fourth, magga, the way leading to the cessation of dukkha. As summation of the human condition as well as human potential, these four pithy lines are unmatched in any tradition, spiritual or literary, in entire history. After the diagnosis of our ailment, the Buddha prescribes the medicine also. The 8 steps are right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. In conclusion, the Buddha proclaims, I quote, "And a vision of true knowledge arose in me thus: my heart's deliverance is unassailable. This is the last birth. Now there is no more birth," unquote. Thus, the Dhamma Chakra, the wheel of truth, was set in motion. Ever since it has been the lodestar, helping spiritual seekers navigate through the maze of worldly life and arrive at the end of suffering here and now. It is so scientific that it resembles psychotherapy more than a traditional dogmatic religion. It is this open attitude of inquiry into the heart of existence and the possibility of finding the key to eternal serenity that has attracted seekers in every age for the last 2500 years. The wheel has come full circle, and the word of Dhamma has, in the recent decades, spread to distant shores in the West too. Dear seekers, India is proud of being the land of the origin of the Dhamma. It was from India that it began to spread in neighboring regions. There, in new fertile soil and new climate, it grew organically, eventually branching off into various offshoots. In India, we see Buddhism as a fresh expression of the sublime truth. His enlightenment and the subsequent preaching by him for over 4 decades were in line with India's tradition of respect for intellectual liberalism and spiritual diversity. In modern times, 2 exceptionally great Indians, Mahatma Gandhi and Babasaheb Ambedkar, found inspiration in the words of the Buddha and went on to shape the destiny of the nation. Following in their footsteps, we should strive to hear the call of the Buddha, to respond to his invitation to walk the noble path. The world seems full of suffering, in short term as well as in long term. There are many stories of kings and affluent people suffering from acute depression who took refuge in the Buddha to escape cruelties of life. Indeed, the life of the Buddha challenges earlier convictions as he believed in finding a deliverance from suffering in the midst of this imperfect world. Dear friends, today as the pandemic ravages human lives and economies across the globe, the Buddha's message serves like a beacon. He advised people to shun greed, hatred, violence, jealousy, and many other vices to find happiness. Contrast this message with the hankering of an unrepentant mankind indulging in the same old violence and degradation of nature. We all know that the moment the virulence of coronavirus slows down, we have a far more serious challenge of climate change before us. Mahatma Gandhi, our father of the nation, knew that the Buddha offered a way out of our present predicament. In 1927, he told the students of the Anand College in Colombo, I quote, "The great master taught us what is known as the right path. And to learn the right path is not merely to pack our brains with many things that sound nice, good and sweet, but to do the right things." Gautam Buddha was so filled with mercy and kindness that it was he who taught us to love not only the members of the human family, but also to love all life, to love all the animal world. And he taught us also the personal purity of life, unquote. In the final phase of his life, the Buddha was acutely conscious of the fact that egotism, driven by envy, hatred, greed, and ambition, would undermine compassion and loving kindness. The Buddha therefore encouraged the culture of dialectic and debate among his followers to arrive at their own truth. His cure for human suffering remains as relevant today as it was over 2.5 millennia ago. There is no doubt that the urgency of abiding by the values that the Buddha preached is eternal. By ignoring the soothing wisdom of every spiritual tradition, we have arrived at the juncture where we find ourselves today. It is high time we paid heed. Dear friends, I am grateful to the International Buddhist Confederation for providing me the opportunity to host this event and also to share my thoughts with you. The world has suffered much this year, and I sincerely wish that this sacred day heralds a new ray of hope and grants a glimpse of happiness. I also pray that it lights the lamp of wisdom in the heart of everyone. Atta Deepo Bhav. May we all be blessed. May we all awaken to wisdom. Thank you. Jai Hind.